Remember that April Fool's joke? Yeah, once you get to know me long enough, you'll learn that there's usually an element of truth to the things I say when I'm talking utter nonsense. If having something like this model looks like your kind of thing, this video will get you the basic details on its creation and fill you in on what's going on for the channel in the future in the process too. Also, to the over 25,000 of you who are returning and have already subscribed, I want to extend an overdue thank you for helping me get this far. I know I wouldn't be where I am today without you, so I hope you'll enjoy what's coming next for this channel as I continue to grow and develop new projects. Hello virtual dreamers, Gregory here. I think we need to take a moment to lay down some backstory on this plastic abomination, since it'll be the focal point for the discussion here. This kind of starts off back in March of this year when I got a 3D printer. You see, I needed to make some parts for a robot arm that my professor wanted me to build for my graduation project, and I was just paranoid enough to order it on the off chance that a certain pandemic I was seeing coming along the lines wound up causing some trouble in my neck of the woods. After it arrived, I set it all up, do the initial test print with a cute little dog, and make myself a new roommate. I decided that it was time to begin the work on 3D printing the NerveGear from Sorta Online. If any of you have been around for a while, you might remember that I'd already made a 3D model of the NerveGear back in 2018, so I figured this would actually be a pretty good use for it rather than just letting it take up hard drive space. And with that, we get to the story as far as you all knew it. There was an April Fool's Day video released at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 1st. For anyone wondering why this video is titled something clickbaity like, I built a NerveGear or so I made a NerveGear, thank all the people in the comments who actually believed the complete nonsense I spouted in that video. My faith in humanity aside, I'd actually already started cutting up the old 3D model I did and printing out the parts by the time that video released. My 3D printer couldn't fit the whole size model all in one go, and it would take way too long to do so in one go anyway, so I decided to break it down into pieces, then glue them back together to get the final piece. This wound up taking longer than I'd hoped because this got sidetracked by college and some personal matters, but at the end of the day, the NerveGear Mark I is officially complete as far as I'm gonna go. For anyone that wants one, I will be putting the link to the 3D files down below in the description. It's just over a dozen parts for the piece by piece, and the old full-size model will be provided as well, so if you want to go about 3D printing it for yourself, feel free. Just know that if you do want to print it, that you aren't going to be getting a perfect work of art here. There are a lot of mistakes and issues with that model that I only really found out about and understood as I got to work building it. I mean, just from looking at it, it's obvious that the model is very low poly for something that needs to be 3D printed, resulting in it having that classic Nintendo 64 PlayStation era look that it currently shares only with the Cybertruck in this day and age. I never wound up going to animation school for college, and I think the quality of this model shows that. It doesn't help that I'm not exactly an expert at physical crafting here, so a lot of the things that could be done to improve it, like sanding it down, properly painting it, and all that stuff, would probably end up ruining it even more if I tried doing it at my current skill level. The parts also had some issues with alignment at several points, and my use of hot glue as a bonding medium wasn't ideal here either, since it sometimes created gaps in the model. Although I do have to note it also did help at filling in gaps in the model at certain points where the alignment didn't work out that well. Really though, the biggest aspects of the Mark I project that I lament not getting into are the screen, LED lights, and EEG. I mean, come on. If I throw an EEG and a head-mounted display in this thing, it would just turn into a real-life NerveGear, right? Oh man, the joking and self-deprecation aside though, the way I feel about this little thing is a lot more positive than I was expecting. Aside from what appears to be a one-of-a-kind promotional model and some fabric head plush available on Amazon Japan, this is basically one of the most accurate NerveGear models in the world, and the Sorta Online fan in me is squealing just looking at it. I can already see myself going back to polish up the 3D model, printing out larger pieces, joining them together using better substances, sanding it down, painting it, and setting up a simple LED circuit for the NerveGear Mark II when the time allows for it. And you know what? I think time will allow for it eventually. I'm changing up my virtual reality rig project strategy to aim for a more iterative approach again, that will better allow me to test out designs and find out what works and what doesn't in the process. If that means wasting a whole bunch of filament and going over budget more often, so be it. Iteration and failure are a part of the learning process, and regardless of the failings of this particular version, I know I'll be looking back fondly on it a few years from now, thinking back to the good old days when the only problems a project had were having parts misalign a little bit, versus, things catching fire or blowing up or possibly murdering me. So yeah, everyone, I built a lame little NerveGear, but if it, a soon-to-be donated robot arm, and a sassy roommate are the foundation for the future, I think we should expect some good times ahead. Thank you, my dear viewers, for watching this video, and a special thanks to everyone who has helped this channel reach the place that it's at today. I can only imagine what the future has in store if things continue to move forward and progress as they have been doing lately. Till those times, be well, my fellow adventurers and dreamers. This has been Gregory, logging out.